CBS Sports presents the Geico Play of the Day.
Turkey Day in Big D, and it was the Chargers giving thanks late in the third quarter. Phillip Rivers threads the needle, finding Tyrell Williams that for a 27-yard strike past Cowboys' Anthony Brown. That touchdown put the Chargers up by 16 and gives Rivers a little reason to be emotional this holiday.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. This is the State Farm postgame show.
And hello, everyone. I'm James Brown. Welcome to the State Farm postgame show. Tonight on CBS, it's a night of comedy, drama, and all the trimmings, beginning with The Big Bang Theory. That'll be followed by new episodes of Young Sheldon, Mom, Life in Pieces, and SWAT. That's all tonight, coming your way only on CBS. And we bring you back inside Studio 43. Full house here in the studio as we get ready to talk about this one. While Dallas has now dropped 3 straight, San Diego has 1.
You know, I think the biggest winners today are the teams in the NFC that are in the wild card race. So if the Redskins can win tonight, they are a triple winner because they'll get themselves right back into the race with Detroit and Dallas losing. But Phillip Rivers put on a clinic today against the Dallas defense that was just overwhelmed.
Yeah, it is evident that they missed Zeke on that offense,
No
but
question.
It's that defense. Phillip Rivers, like you said, he exploited that secondary that had problems all year.
You talk about this football team. They've won 5 out of 7, that being the Los Angeles Chargers. And you think about the 2 losses at New England and at Jacksonville. They lost 8 points at New England in overtime at Jacksonville. Probably maybe one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now.
Well, I don't know what to say. Phillip Rivers was striping that football, man. I mean, he was on target the whole day long. And I'll say this about the Dallas Cowboys. The football team is built on what? It's built on their offensive line, controlling the pace of the game, running the football, saving their defense, keeping it fresh. Because what does their defense rely on, Bill? Passion and energy. Well, when they're always on the field, we saw what happened, and it's happened to them the last couple of weeks. Fatigue sets in, man, then it's trouble.
You've learned not to answer any of his questions already.
I asked him,
They're all rhetorical.
just in case you didn't know.
I got it.
Hey, folks, time now for Brilliance on the Field, presented by K Jewelers. And it is surprise, surprise, Phil.
Oh, Phillip Rivers. I mean, everything. I don't know what to say to the Dallas Cowboy defense. Hey, you know, Keenan Allen plays in the slot. You might want to double team him or take him away. But his throwing today was truly magnificent. Moved out of the pocket early in the game and hit Travis Benjamin for a big game. Never got sacked. And then Keenan Allen, they couldn't cover him. When they did, he just went up and got the football. And this was a beautiful throw by Phillip Rivers. Under pressure, unblocked guy, and he can still get rid of the football. And Bill, don't rush 3 guys against a good quarterback.
And you know what, Phil? Don't rush 5 guys. If you try to blitz Phillip Rivers, he's going to pick you apart. And that's the one thing I thought going into this game. The Dallas Cowboys, they have a 4-man pass rush that can get there. But they kept trying to blitz him. And Phillip Rivers has been in this league long enough. He will know the one-on-one, and he hit it every time today. I'm not so sure about the approach and going against him. This guy is a master of delivering the ball to all areas of the field.
And Keenan Allen, 11 catches, 172 yards, a career high, and a touch, Nate.
Yeah, he had himself a day. You know, Scott Linehan, the OC for the Dallas Cowboys, he used to tell me, we're going to find Waldo, and that's the weak point of the defense. It's funny, on the opposite side of the field, it was the Los Angeles Chargers finding Waldo game in and game out, and now quarter in and quarter out. You saw Keenan Allen match up on the outside, match up in the slot, matched up against linebackers, safeties, and exploiting where the weakness of in that Dallas defense.
I think it's official right now that the LA Chargers are by far the hottest team in the AFC West. And the AFC West is a mess this week when you think about all the different guys getting fired in Denver and now, of course, Oakland. And then when you watch Kansas City play last week against the Giants, you got to wonder what's going on there with them. And they play the Buffalo Bills in Arrowhead on Sunday with Tyrod Taylor back at quarterback, with Tyrod Taylor wanting to prove something, I'm sure, for the Buffalo Bills. So the LA Chargers right now, think about this, and Phil, you were talking about this off the air. They have guys, it seems like, at every important position in the NFL to make a game in your favor, whether it be pass rushers, whether it be wide receivers. They, of course, have the experience at quarterback and a team that is now on the rise. So I would not be surprised if we are here 3 weeks from now talking about the Chargers and the Chiefs going forward for the AFC West.
And I got to tell you, the one guy to me that stood out in this game was Casey Hayward. They kept trying to test him on the outside, and he's playing right corner. He was matched up against Dez a lot of this game.
Yeah.
We saw the frustration with Dez Bryant. Casey Hayward and that secondary with the Dye and Boston as safeties, it is underrated. And we all talk about Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa and that interior rush. But I tell you, you match that with that secondary, this is a special defense.
Two things came out from me, JB, just real quick. Remember, you said it, Nate. Keenan Allen's in the slot. They put guys on him today. They couldn't have covered him if they give him 10 chances.
Right.
You can't put a linebacker on Keenan Allen, maybe one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And then on the Dallas Cowboys offense, you know, you're undermanned. You got to be creative. Did you see anything different today that we have not seen in the past? Give Dak some different plays. I thought they would move him around more. They did not.
You know, the one person I was going to say is we got to get a lot of credit here. Ken Wisenhunt. You know, he was with Phillip Rivers early in his career.
Yeah.
Went down to Tennessee, became a head coach. He was let go from Tennessee. Went back and reunited with Phillip Rivers. And those two, they mesh. And I know Ken Wisenhunt, he worked for me in Pittsburgh. He's going to try to exploit a matchup if he sees one. And he did that again today, as we talked about.
Man.
Let me set you up to talk about the defense of the Chargers as well by saying they allowed no sacks. LA Chargers, I'm about to say San Diego again as well, too. Certainly no turnovers helped the cause, but talk about that defense of the Chargers.
Oh, the defense especially. We talked about the pass rush. Again, you look at Bosa, and they put Ingram, they put him on the same side, flush them out to the other people that get the residue of their hard work. But you're never comfortable as a quarterback, and then you go into the secondary, and they can cover people. Here's a nickel back going to pick off that guy. There's nowhere for Dak to throw the football. I just think they did a masterful job today of taking away Dez Bryant, making Dak Prescott, giving him looks that he had not seen before. You see right there, rushing yards, they stopped the run. They took away from the run. 247 yards, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions. I talked about this defense. They're playmakers.
Well, we're talking about a lot of good things about the San Diego Chargers. Their special teams are a mess. You know, their kicking game is a mess. Remember earlier in the year, they lost a couple games because of the kicking game. So it looks like they're going to have to go out and find another kicker because I don't know how long you can put up with this. And unfortunately, the punter trying to make extra points, and that's not working. So this is the second week in a row that a Dallas Cowboy team has basically lost to a kicker-less team.
Nate, let me come back to you. You talked about the Zeke-less effect, Nate. The Chargers outscored Dallas 25-6 in the second half. Talk about the Zeke-less effect.
Well, I'm listening to you guys, and I'm writing notes as you're talking about the creativity feeling, and Coach, you're coming in and talking about them collapsing the pocket and making Dak uncomfortable. I was hoping to see him outside the pocket. I'm looking at the box score. In the rushing for the Dallas Cowboys, not one time did Dak get out the pocket. And when he did, they had that holding call, which was so crucial, because at that point, it would have made the game, I believe, 9-6 before kicking an extra point. If you don't have Zeke, and you know that you're struggling to protect your quarterback, and the wide receivers aren't making plays, have some designed runs. Get your quarterback outside the pocket.
Get him into the game.
We saw Seattle do that with Russell Wilson just last week, and even though they didn't win the game, they gave their team a chance to win.
And the key play in the game, I think, was what you just talked about right there, Nate. You're talking about the situation where you get the running game, boom, Dak keeps the ball, runs in for a touchdown. At this point, if they kick the extra point, it's a ball game, 9-7.
Right.
But you have the hold, which was a very good call on Tyron Smith, the left tackle. And I think that was a key play in this game in terms of turning the momentum. And any little bit of momentum that they could have gathered for Dallas, they lost it right there, and then they had to settle for a punt.
They didn't even get the, you're right, they didn't get a field goal try. But I'm just going to go back to the Chargers. I'm not going to look too far ahead. I'm just saying this. They're built to play any way they want to do it. You said it, Boomer. We talked about it. They can beat you on defense. They can make the plays, sack the quarterback. But Phillip Rivers, when are they out of a game? If they're down 17 in the third quarter, look out. You're just going to have to hold on and hope you can hang in there as he becomes that, because he can throw it every single down, take the pressure off his offensive lineman because he's going to get rid of the football, and they have a dangerous trio of wide receivers.
Let's say he's a lot like Matthew Stafford. You know, for years, the team just hasn't been as good as their quarterback, but the quarterback always keeps them into the game. And then, of course, Matthew Stafford gets hurt today. They lose a home game to the Minnesota Vikings. It's just a huge win for Minnesota. 7 in a row for the first time since 2000, I believe. So when you take a look at what happened today, again, like I said at the beginning of this whole thing, if you are an NFC wildcard team, good things happen for you today because you know, you have a division winner winning Minnesota. Detroit is in the wild card. They lost. And, of course, Dallas is going to be in the wild card because Philadelphia is running away with the NFC East.
And I would just say this to Anthony Lynn, the first-time head coach who now has got his team. They're going to be talking playoffs. Quiet the noise. You got here because you've been under the radar and you've been trusting the process. And I would just say to you right now, don't look ahead. Look to the next week. Use this as a bye week because right now you're playing as good as anybody, but don't worry about it. Keep playing with that edge.
Good advice, because he certainly has turned it around. Hey, real quickly, Waldo means what?
Find Waldo. You got to find Waldo.
He's got to find Waldo. Where the weakness is.
The weakness is
no. So I'm just saying. So none of us want to be called Waldo.
We call that finding, right? We call that finding Boomer here.
Waldo. That's where I was going with this. More to come when State Farm postgame show continues after this. College football comes your way tomorrow right here on CBS at 2:30 Eastern. The SEC on CBS features Missouri at Arkansas. Then on Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, it's top-ranked and undefeated Alabama at 6th-ranked Auburn in the 82nd Iron Bowl. Our pregame coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern time on Saturday. 515 total yards as I welcome you back here to the State Farm postgame show. 515 total yards by the LA Chargers, 172 by this guy, Keenan Allen.
Yeah, let's talk about Keenan Allen. The mark of a receiver having a good day is he can get open running routes from outside and inside, and regardless of who's on him. Right here, a corner route, and Phillip Rivers throws the back shoulder on the corner route.
That ain't right.
On the outside, he must have glanced out, and that ain't right. What's that? Window throwing is what you said. Now check him out. Matched up on the slot. You put him on the option route, he's going to win every time up against a linebacker. The coach is telling me why. I know they're asking the same thing in here on Scandrick. Inside with leverage, he runs the outside out route, and then he gets in, makes a move on the backside defender, and that right there is how he had that big day. 14 targets, 11 catches, a $172. He ran on the outside, inside. Seemed like he hit every single route in the route tree, which is a guy that's in the zone like a shooter shooting from half court.
You say that's not right?
Well, it's almost downright illegal.
I'm loving it. After the game, it was our Tracy Wolfson who caught up with Mr. Keenan Allen.
Keenan, 11 receptions, 172 yards, and a touchdown. But what is it like being on the receiving end when your quarterback is clicking the way he did today?
It's fun. It's fun. He gets us all in the right spots, and he throws an amazing ball. And, you know, I try to get open, and I try to make everything else happen after that. And the other guys do, too, as well. We do a great job of finding the ball in the air, getting open, and, you know, making plays. So.
Can you sense as this team is gaining confidence each week?
Most definitely. This is a big win for us on a big platform, coming off of last week's win, which was big as well. So hopefully we can just keep it going.
Does it mean even more? Is it more special coming on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think so. It's Thanksgiving. I'm excited to go home and eat, and, you know, we got to win. So I'm happy.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what a game by Keenan Allen. The other thing, too, if you're a quarterback and you watch Phillip Rivers throw the football, we make fun, we talk about window throwing and all that other stuff, but how many balls were batted down by the Dallas Cowboys
that
today?
would be zero.
And then where throws the ball from down here?
But Boomer, you got to have a really high release to succeed in the NFL.
What you got to have is you got to have football IQ. You got to know how to manage the pocket, and all the great quarterbacks know how to do that. And when you watch Phillip Rivers today, we talked about it. It was a clinic. It was literally a clinic how he picked apart the Dallas Cowboy defense. But now when you look forward, and you take a look at the AFC playoff picture right here. Obviously, the Chargers right there are 5-6, are right on the heels of the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to play the Buffalo Bills this weekend with Tyrod Taylor back as their starting quarterback. So that is a huge game for Alex Smith and Andy Reid to bounce back at Arrowhead.
It really is. When you look at the Chargers, they go play Kansas City in Week 15. That will be a big game. And I think, again, somewhere along the line, this LA Chargers team, if they can just stay where they're at in the moment. And we talked about these last 2 games that they lost in these winning 5 of the last 7. But think about the first 4 games. 3 of those 4 games they lost was by field goal or less.
Kicking problems.
They've had kicking problems. This is the most consistent football team in the National Football League.
Yeah, I like to call a team like this fake bad. You know, they had some tough losses, and you think they could have easily won them. But it comes to the time of the year where this is exactly who teams are. It's Thanksgiving. Who cares what happened in September and November? You look at Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs. They were as hot as ever. We were ready to write them into the Super Bowl. We weren't even thinking about the Chargers. Now, all of a sudden, they're heating up, and this is the perfect time to play ball.
Well, I think the big thing is we talk about this. Can the Chargers run the table? You know, when you look at their schedule, look what's down there. And I know it looks, hey, the one team, the Kansas City Chiefs, you talked about, Bill. But, you know, when you talk about winning 5 in a row in the NFL.
It's hard.
I mean, I don't care who you're playing. That's tough to do.
Yeah.
So it's just week to week. Coach, you've said it. Week to week, they got a couple days off. Settle the team down. If I'm the head coach or if you were, don't give them too much credit. make them concentrate on what's ahead of them.
Yeah, I think they've been in that mode. I think you talk about, Kansas City, where they were. I always said, the season, you want to start fast and finish strong and navigate your way in the middle. So right about now, after Thanksgiving, you need to now, don't worry about records. You have to trust the process because you're in the middle of where you've been. And so right now, you're taking this thing from game to week. Everything else will play out. So right now, where you are is you accentuate those strengths and you mask your weaknesses, because if you're in the hunt right now, it's taking what you have, ride it, and hopefully you won't get any injuries along the way.
You give me fired up, baby. Man, hey, really I wish I was in that locker room with you, man.
It's amazing. 2 quarterbacks put on clinics today. Phillip Rivers, of course, against the Dallas Cowboys. And
who was the other one?
And Phil at the Thanksgiving buffet. What a
and then he cleaned up. See anything like
you got to go with your strengths, man.
And you got a lot of strength in that regard. I can tell you that.
Hey, ready to roll.
I'm ready to roll, man. See, Coach?
Yeah, he's ready to roll until somebody hits him.
And the State Farm post-game show will continue from Studio 43 here in New York. Hey, is there any turkey left? Did you guys get it all?
This is the State Farm post-game show.
And welcome back to the State Farm post-game show. There was an earlier game played today in Minnesota over Detroit, and quarterback looked pretty good in that.
I'll tell you what, Case Keenum, 21-30, 282 yards, 2 TDs. He runs this one in for a 9-yard touchdown run, 13-0. How about the celebration? It's going to be Thanksgiving dinner with the boys over. Everybody's going to sit down, but wait, Stephon Diggs, get the turkey. Stephon Diggs, get the turkey. Get the turkey in there. And he put it in there, and there's that celebration right there. And I'll tell you what, Case Keenum really starting to separate himself and make him the unquestioned leader for the Minnesota Vikings. What a throw right there to Kyle Rudolph. He takes a hit, throws the ball accurately, and Case Keenum is making a case right now for himself, of course. And I'll tell you what, you want a quarterback coaching tandem for your team next year? How about Pat Shurmur and Case Keenum? Case Keenum's going to be a free agent, and Pat Shurmur the offensive coordinator. How about that?
Predicted playoffs, telling us all.
How about that? 30, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a rushing one. And after the game, there was an exuberant, I guess we can call him, Mike Zimmer, talking about Case Keenum and his squad.
Well, maybe the best thing about him is he's got great vision. I think he sees a lot of things that's going on out on the field, and maybe the game has slowed down for him throughout the course of the time that he's played.
I want to be great, and I have confidence in myself that I can. For me, being a part of this team is really, really special. I think this team is, it's a special group of guys, and I'm really thankful to be a part of this team.
That's about as excited as Mike Zimmer gets, by the way, guys. Hey, there you go. There's the NFC player picture you can see right there. Why this is so important that both Dallas and Detroit lost today, and if Washington win tonight, gets them back into the mix again. And then when you take a look at what's going on in the NFC South, which we all probably think that is the strongest division in football, those teams still have to play each other, so a lot of things that still have to work themselves out.
Yeah, we constantly try to question what Case Keenum is doing, but you have to give him credit. If I'd have told you your number 1 quarterback goes down, your second-string quarterback goes down, your rookie stud running back goes down, and you be in it, not just be in it, but have one of the best records in the league, you think I'm crazy. So you got to give Case Keenum credit. You said it best. He's making a case for himself, not to be a backup in this league, but possibly a starter.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about Case Keenum, I just remember last year when he was in the Rams, and, they put Jared Goff in at the end of the game, but he was a starter, and he had beaten them out. This kid right now, there's no doubt he's a starter for the rest of this year. And they have 2 tough games coming up, at Atlanta, at Carolina. Yes. They'll be very telling.
What he's done, and I've watched all of his games, but he has toughness, talent, and he has an energy to him when he's on the field. He makes the tough plays. He stands in there. We've seen it many times the last couple of weeks, taking those big hits. And they're another team. They almost remind me of the Los Angeles Chargers. Oh, I almost said it. That they got all the parts on the defensive side, too. A quarterback that's hot, man, that's tough to beat.
We're going to continue with more of the State Farm postgame show. Anybody you want to beat up on before we go to break?
No.
More to come our way after this. Take it easy. And a reminder, we're back with more football on Sunday, starting with the NFL today at noon Eastern. That will be followed by doubleheader action early. Many will see the Dolphins against the Super Bowl champion Patriots. Later, our featured matchup will be the Saints at the Rams Sunday, right here on CBS. Closing thoughts starting with Phil.
Give me some of those reigns. So the Saints at the Rams. I can't wait to see it. Drew Brees has really managed the football team well. And watching the last couple of weeks, his movement, it's like he's a young kid.
I just want to see Buffalo Bills at Kansas City. Tyrod Taylor, how does he respond after being benched last week? They're still in the playoff hunt. And for Andy Reid, Can you finish strong?
The Saints have the best duo at the running back position in football, Ingram and Kamara. The holy trinity of plays that they can run on that offense: runs, pass, and play action.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Just want to let America know, behind the scenes, Bill Cowher's been saying to Phil Simms, it's San Diego, it's San Diego.
Tyrod Taylor is a consummate pro. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.